Hey guys, what's up? It's Asteroid here. Welcome to my studio, and this is my interview for Tranceportal. How has the COVID-19 pandemic changed you? When I think about the pandemic, I think the things I've learned the most are to be more patient with myself and more patient with others. It's also taught me to appreciate the things that we usually take for granted, like spending time with our loved ones, going to events, even simple things like going to a restaurant. Overall it's taught me more patience, and it's taught me to have a little bit more gratitude as well. Besides making music, what did you do during the lockdown period to keep busy and stay sane? Other than music, I do have a full-time job which keeps me busy. Sometimes I like to game. I also like cycling, so exercise, and I also have a 6-month-old puppy, and I don't think I can say that he keeps me sane all the time. But he definitely keeps me busy. So those are just some of the things that I get up to outside of music. Of all the music you've made during the COVID lockdown, which one track are you most proud of? Tell us about the track and describe the sound. This one is it's a toss-up between Catharsis, which was released at the end of last year, and then my most recent single, Home, which just came out on After Dark. Catharsis, for the melodic content, I think it's by far my best composition. So I love it for that reason. With Home, also I think it's one of my best tracks to date, no doubt. But just seeing the support it picked up, from ASOT and FSOE support right through to, people's family members buying it and stuff. And yeah, it was my first ever #1 as well. And it spent 6 days in the #1 position, which I'm incredibly proud of, and something I never thought would happen right from the start. So I'm immensely proud of that. Tell you about the track and describe the sound. Okay, so that's probably a little bit cliche, but the track is a reminder of no matter how dark things become, no matter how difficult times we go through, how difficult the times are that we go through, we always eventually return to light, return home. It's just a reminder that we will always return home. Describe your sound in one sentence. Energetic, euphoric, and melodic. Which artist most inspires you currently, and which artist most inspired you when you first got involved with music? The currently one, that's an easy one. It's got to be Will Rees. Not just because he's a fellow Welshman, but I just don't think anyone touches him at the moment specifically for melodic kind of trance. And I just think he's got that, extra 5 or 10% that other people just don't have. And Will Rees for me at the moment. I don't think anyone's better than him at the moment. Who inspired me when I first started out? It's probably quite a common answer, but I would say, the early Tiesto stuff, the early Ferry Corsten stuff, and all of his aliases as well, Vericocha, Ferry Corsten 100%, I would say, and even some of the early Tiesto stuff. If you could collaborate with any artist in the world, who would it be? Will Rees. It's an easy one. I would just love to sit in the studio with him and pick his brains and, just get some ideas down with him. Will, if you're listening, let's get it on, son. Top 3 gigs of your career. Unconscious Festival in Thailand, Luminosity Beach Festival for obvious reasons. I think every trance artist on the planet wants to play there. It's like the mecca of trance. And also Dreamstate. I haven't played their one in Los Angeles yet. But yeah, I would love to play at the Los Angeles one, but their one in Vancouver in Canada was also amazing. Clubs or festivals, and please give your reasons why. I think festivals are great, and they always look, spectacular, and the production is insane and the sound is insane. But for experience itself, I think I would choose clubs, because in clubs, you can be right next to the crowd, and they can be, right up against the front of the booth, if you like, and to feed off that energy between each other and connect is much easier. So I definitely prefer the kind of more intimate club setting. Yeah, for that reason, clubs. You're allowed to play one last gig and then you have to retire from performing forever. Which club or festival in which country or city do you choose? Tough one. I think Unconscious Festival in Thailand, again, just because Thailand is my favorite country in the world. If you add a beach festival on top of that, it's always a recipe for success. But also I hear really, really good things about Argentina, so I'd love to experience the Argentinian crowd at some point too. Which two DJs would you most like to see playing back to back? I think it would have to be two really technically gifted artists, like, for example, mid-2000s Eddie Halliwell, back in his Bosch days, and Jordan Sutley now. Yeah, those two together. Who is your favourite trance DJ of all time, and when or where was the best gig you ever saw them play? This one is not going to be such a common answer, and some people may not even know the name, but I would have to say Guy Ornadell. He was a Slinky resident many years ago, and one of the best sets that I've ever seen him play, in fact, I've ever seen anyone play, was Escape in the Park main stage, 2005 or 2006, I think it was. But yeah, Guy Ornadell main stage at Escape in the Park. Still one of the most insane sets I've ever heard. What is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you at a gig? Without a shadow of a doubt, New Year's Eve, headline gig in Sydney, Australia, and hitting Q on the wrong deck and stopping the music. Club was packed, atmosphere was great, and the music just stopped dead. Nerves definitely got the best of me then, I think, but it happens to all of us. Singles or albums? Albums, providing there's not 2 or 3 good tracks and the rest are just fillers. If it's a really good album where every track is good, then albums. From the time that you started producing music, how long was it till you released your first record, and what was that record? 4 years, 2006, a track called Nebula, and it was released on Liquid Pulse. Do you still play that track in your gigs today? No. In fact, I don't think it's ever made it into any of my sets. Favorite 3 albums to chill out to? Okay, I really love like ambient and down-tempo stuff, and also some kind of urban stuff too. So I would say anything by Carbon-based Lifeforms. If you've never heard of them, change that immediately and go and check them out. I would say Celestial Medicine by Man of No Ego. And then the third one would be Everything's a Ripple by DubFX. When on tour, what is the one thing, not including your laptop or DJ related gear, that you never travel without? My passport. When producing music, what DAW do you use, and what one plugin could you never live without? And describe the job this plugin does. I'm proficient in Pro Tools, Logic, and Studio One because I learned them at university, but my DAW of choice is Ableton Live. The one plugin I could never live without is the SSL compressor by UAD. Its job is basically to add punch, warmth, clarity, and tightness to group channels or buses. You're about to be stranded on a desert island for the rest of your life. You're allowed to take 3 items with you, other than those items you have to survive with. What 3 items do you choose? That one's easy. Something to listen to music on, my girlfriend, and my puppy. Please give a final message for the dedicated trance fans on the Tranceportal. Please be kind to everyone you meet, because you have no idea what battle that person is facing. Cheers.